Thoughts on the game? Thanks.
Well, I certainly, we're really happy to get the win, but I've been impressed with South Florida the last few weeks. Certainly they came to Memphis and beat us pretty handily, and we had to hold on to get the win today. So Brian, Gregory, and his staff have been doing a fantastic job. But I'm really proud of how our guys hung in here today, finished the game, even though we, lost the lead there. We still did the things to get the win. In this postseason play, anything can happen. You've got to really be focused, and I thought we were focused and did a good job to finish it.
Take questions now for Coach and the student athletes. You can raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you. Right here in front to Mark.
Mark Giannotto, Commercial Appeal. Kevin, how motivated were you guys given the loss to them last week and kind of everything that's been going on around the program the past few days?
It was a tough loss, but we knew we couldn't hang our heads over it. So we just got after it after practice and pushed each other and made each other better. And we knew we had to come out here with intensity from the beginning because we play well once we get going from the beginning, get going early. And what really helped us out was our defense. The more deflections we got and the stops we got really helped us out on offense.
Working on some final adjustments with the post-game stats. I noticed there was an issue on the live stats, so they're working on getting the totals, so we'll have those shortly. We can go to Andrea.
Andrea Adelson, ESPN.com. For Tubby, there have been some reports about your future, but your agent came out today and said you've continued to have the support of the administration. Do you feel like you have that support moving forward?
Yeah, I feel pretty comfortable, pretty confident about what we've done this year and how we're growing the program and the type of young men that we're recruiting.
Other questions? Back to Mark.
Tubby, Mark, down here. How tough have the past couple days been for you and your family? There's news that came out before the game about Gigi as well. How have you been dealing with everything that's been going on?
Well, it is part of our business. It's the profession we chose, and unfortunately, there you are hired to be fired usually, unless you're in some program that's just unbelievably, and you're getting you're doing everything right. But he did a good job up there as best he could, so I'm proud of him. Certainly, yeah, it's always tough when that happens, whether it's your family or friends or anybody in the business. No one ever want to see that happen, but it's part of the culture now. It's like something that's celebrated at the end of the season by a lot of people.
David, what do you think? It seemed like, was it home cooking? How would you describe what got into you there in the first half and why you were able to kind of break out like you did?
Definitely my teammates and my coaches. They really pushed me to play strong, compete, get after it. And even in practice, they do the same thing, push me so I can get stronger, play harder. So that's about it.
Back to Jeff.
Jeff Calkins from the Commercial Appeal. Kareem, you obviously know about the reports and rumors about your coach. How did you all put it out of your mind?
We really didn't think too much of it. That's not our business. We here to play basketball, so that's the only thing I gotta say.
Kareem, what happened late? You hit the big shot to kind of stem the tide a little bit, but what do you think you guys can take from what happened late in this one to the game tomorrow? What do you think you learned from what happened here?
I feel like we should execute a little bit more, get back to us running our plays, because I feel like we got out of that a little bit at the end. So pretty much we just got to keep ourselves confident and just keep running what was working through the whole game.
Kevin, do you feel like this team is capable of making a run through this tournament? You've now won 6 of 7. Do you feel like you guys are clicking enough?
Yes, I think so. We're playing comfortable and we're playing smart. We just really got to stay focused and execute and keep working together and moving the ball and everything to take care of itself.
Over to the right.
Coach Smith, congratulations on the win today.
Thank you.
Steve Wilson with Space Coast Daily. What would you like to see your team do a little bit better tomorrow than they did not do today?
Well, we were, I thought our defensive intensity was right. We got off to a good start. We made shots. I thought our taking care of the basketball, like Kareem said, just executing, in clutch situations when taking, I thought we had a couple of questionable shots here, but that went back to just execution, especially in the late game. Make our free throws in the end, all those things, just finish. We just have to finish around the basket. I thought we had a couple of chances to finish around the basket, and we didn't. So that's what we have to get better at.
Joey, over here.
Joey Knight, Tampa Bay Times. Coach, I was just wondering if you could speak to David Collins for them, number 11. He had 30 today. Just what kind of problems he posed for them?
Yeah, he's created a lot of problems. He's a talented freshman. Really is. He's going to be a star in this league. He's so physical and he's very deceptive. As far as he can fake like he's going off the screen, and he's a good ball handler. And you've got to, you got to honor his outside shooting. So he really gave us all kinds of problems trying to keep us in front of him. But I'm impressed with that young man. They've done a good job of developing him, and it helps. He's getting playing time. You're in a program where you've got an outstanding coach, and coaching staff that's going to work. Brian Gregory is going to make sure he does the things he's supposed to do to be a good player, because he's developed a lot of outstanding players over the years.
Time for one or two more. Back.
Bruce Howard, Tulsa Radio. Coach, what do you recall about the two Tulsa games, and what do you think of Tulsa in the matchup that you have tomorrow?
Hey, Bruce, how you doing, man? Those games, when you think back, I'll have to go back and watch film, but I know at our place we really, we played well, shot the ball well, but they made the run in the second half. We would get it close, but I was very impressed with how they controlled the tempo, and then their matchup zone gave us problems, especially late game, and Frank eighth, with that matchup zone they create a lot of problems for us. We did some things the first time we played against them that was new, but they made the adjustments in the second game, and that's one of the reasons they were able to beat us.
Final question for Coach of the players? Memphis, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll take an opening statement if you would.
Okay. Great game. Give Memphis a lot of credit. I thought they played with great energy today. Shot the ball really well. And at the same time, give our guys credit for continuing to fight with the effort and the energy. I thought it was just a very well-played game. They got some big baskets from some guys that have made big plays for them all year long, and Davenport and Bruton. They have been playing so well. I think that's 6 out of the last 7 or 7 out of the last 8, with us the only team beating them. But at the same time, I think our guys deserve a lot of credit for the way they finished out the year, the toughness that they played with. We did a good job on the glass, which was something that we needed to do. Did a good job in terms of attacking their pressure defense. It's tough. It's a bitter pill to swallow when you're playing pretty good basketball and you want to continue to play, and then it ends. But as I talked about in the last game, we have a lot to build on from some of the stuff that we did this year, and it's going to be a hard road, but I think we got the right guys to go there, and I think the guys like Jiggets and the other seniors that are leaving did a great job of setting a really solid foundation.
Okay, we'll open up to questions for Coach Gregory or for student athletes David Collins and Stephon Jiggets. Please raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you. Go to Joey.
Coach, could you just speak to David's effort today?
Yeah, obviously, great game, great aggressiveness, good decision-making. As I said, could have easily been the, freshman of the year in our league. Showed it tonight. He made me look pretty smart when I said that last week. And at the same time, I think having those seniors around him has helped his development. But he's got a chance to be a great player in this league. His best attributes is he's coachable and he works hard. And when you add that to the baseline of talent that he has, it's a pretty good combination. There'll be parts of his game as he looks back on today and wish he could do over a couple things, which is what you're supposed to do if you want to be a great player. But he made good play after good play. Obviously one of the biggest one was on the transition where he found Jiggs in the corner, perfectly executed. It helps when you got guys around you that can make you look good when you make those plays. So you got to take a couple weeks off and get back to work.
In the back.
Coach, this is the third time you played Memphis this season, second time in a week. Today they made perimeter shots, which really isn't their forte. Did they do anything different on offense, run any different actions, or anything on defense differently today?
We weren't as good defensively today. They were better offensively because they made some shots. They made some shots early, and we got a little bit out of our defensive system and got stretched some, which then opened up the driving game. And they attacked the paint off the dribble. Nickelberry did a good job in the first half of that. Bruton always does a good job of that. And then when we went zone, we got too stretched in the zone. One of the reasons is because they shot the ball so well. I thought that three by Bruton was a big basket. Obviously, he's not percentage-wise a great three-point shooter, but he was 3 for 4 today. And that's where, you look at that. So they played better offensively, and we didn't play as well defensively. It wasn't anything new or anything different. They ran the same actions. We just didn't defend it as well. And they made plays. You know what I mean? Their playmakers made plays. Davenport goes 4 for 7. Bruton goes 3 for 4 from the 3. That's 7 for 11. That's pretty good. But, as I said, you look at all the talk. You look at that team that we just played. They got everybody back. That's a 25, 26 win team next year because a lot of those guys that are junior college guys, they're going to be better that second year. You can see their development during the year. They're playing as well as anybody in the league, and they got their leading scorer not playing right now. So, for overall for our league, it's just another team that's on the cusp of doing some great things.
Steph, what do you want the younger guys who will be returning next season to take away from this experience and this season going into next year?
I say just embrace everything they're being taught, especially from Coach BG. He'll transform your game just like he did mine. I'm nowhere near the player I was last year, so just taking in all the knowledge and embracing everything he taught me will help a lot.
Other questions?
Coach, how would you sum up this first season?
It's anytime you lose 22 games, I'm not going to be happy. But you got to be able to take a step back and kind of see where we were as a program 11 months ago when I got the job, or a little close to 12 months now. And I think we've made progress. As I said after the last home game, you can't thank the seniors enough for what they did, the sacrifices that they made, and the challenge that they knew they were under. But I'm also excited about getting back to work with our young guys, our incoming guys, a couple guys that will sign in the spring. I think we got a really good foundation to build on. The biggest thing is you got to believe that you can win at South Florida, which we do, and we know we can. But then you got to go to work. And we got some work to do. There's no question about that. But I think we got the guys that are willing to put in the work. And as Jig said, you learn from a guy like him who's in the gym all the time. That's why he's grown as a player this year. Again, you look at, the game that he has today, has the ball in his hands a ton, and just, made good decision after good decision. Couple tough shots didn't go in. But again, those can't define, where he's at as a player or a win or loss, where we're at as a program, because we're definitely making the right steps. It's never as fast as the head coach wants. I can guarantee you that. But they're positive steps for the program.
Joey?
Stephon, the last possession looked like it was well executed. You feel like you had a good look?
Yeah, I actually thought it was going down. It was line drive, so I thought I was going to hit that, really.
It looked good. It was just a little long. It was right on the money. Really good execution by all 5 guys, and good pass by David, good read by David. And then we had some backside rebounding. Those guys are also spotted up on the 3 in case they take jigs away. And then as soon as the shot went up, those guys got to the weak side glass, which gave us another chance, I thought maybe JB might be able to get that shot up on the rim and maybe able to get an and one on that, but they clubbed him pretty good. But really good execution. I told Jiggs after the game, we don't get that shot if he doesn't do the things he did prior to that play. And there was no one that was going to take that shot other than him at that point. He had just made one from almost the identical spot. Has made big shots for us all year long. So felt really comfortable with that.
1 or 2 more? Over here.
David, can you just talk about your game today? Career high, obviously in the loss, didn't feel as good as it would have, but how'd you feel today?
I feel the other guys got me involved. I was getting open a lot, and I was just knocking down shots from other people making the right passes and playing very unselfish.
Final question? Hearing none. USF, thank you.
All right, guys, thanks.